Hey guys, this is Richard Sachs. I'm your host on Lost Arts Radio. Nice to be with you again. We have an incredible new experiment for a show today, something that I've wanted to share with you for a while, but I didn't know really how it would evolve and the best way to do it. And where it comes from is, we talk about real medicine a lot. I spend, especially on the Sunday show, but also on some of the free videos and elsewhere. And it's about what Hippocrates was talking about hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and teachers before him and the thousands of years ago. And they were much wiser than the general health industry is today, and they knew that real medicine will never hurt you. It only has good effects. If it has what they call a side effect, that means it does something extra good for you. It never hurts you. And that's why Hippocrates said for medical people, the very first thing you have to make sure of is do no harm. And medicine he considered food, not toxic chemicals like we do now in our advanced society. So I was always looking for stuff that would be inspirational and would only have good effects on everybody. And of course, you can use anything to hurt yourself. If you drink 50 gallons of water at a sitting, you wouldn't be in very good shape. But if you use regular common sense that we're trained to forget about now, then you use things in harmony with nature and they always help you. So we're looking at ways to do that. We also talk about exercise a lot, and that everybody needs 3 kinds of exercise in some form, and that's resistance, stretching, and aerobic. And there's a relatively new trend that I've been watching for a number of years now called calisthenics. And when I was in school a long time ago, we did some jumping jacks at, before they banned PE, right, as too violent. We used to go out and do jumping jacks and sit-ups and stuff like that. But that's been developed now to a much higher level. And there are people who focus on that and as their resistance and aerobic, and even some of the stretching exercise that they need to get, and don't even need weights, or you could use it with other things too. And I wanted to see, well, who would be great to have on to give us a demonstration and explanation both about how that works. And I happened to see a video from a channel called Barstarzz, which I've been following for quite a while. Barstarzz, I recommend everybody watch. It's Barstarz, if I remember right. And it's got a guy named Ed and a bunch of other super inspiring people. And I saw one of their recent episodes with David Marin, who demonstrated using calisthenics to totally transform his life. And I can't think of anybody who wouldn't benefit by totally transforming their life, me and everybody else. So I thought, David, would you please consider coming on and sharing your background story, and after we go through that, even getting up to physically demonstrating some stuff. This is going to be a first on Lost Arts Radio, so that everybody can get a realistic feel like they're sitting in your home backyard with you about, well, what do you do? What if you're old? What if you're really young? What if you're sick? Or, I mean, not sick in bed, but what if you're disabled somewhat and have limited movement? Or, I just want it to be practical for almost everybody if possible. And David said he would do that, which is incredible. So just want to welcome you to the show, David, and thank you for sharing the time. I really appreciate it. I hope it'll help a lot of people.
Thank you, Richard, for having me.
So where I'd like to start, if it's all right with you, what I really got interested in when I saw your Barstarzz video is go back as far as you want in your life to the earlier time so that people can identify with you. You're not a star in the movies or anything. You're just a kid growing up in very difficult conditions that would be similar to what millions of kids are stuck in right now. And let's make that realistic so they feel like they're in it with you, and take as much time as you want to go through that, what that was like, and then how it changed and why.
Okay, well, so first of all, I'm born and raised and grew up in South Sacramento. So the South area of Sacramento, I would say, would be, the worst part of Sacramento.
Isn't that funny how in almost every big city, there are certain areas where most of the bad stuff concentrates.
Yeah.
And you go a few blocks away and it's not unrecognizable.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but anyway,
it's
I know
still
what you're
like
talking
that. It's still like that today. If anything, it might be spreading out a little bit, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm actually still here as we speak till this day.
You're in
So,
Sacramento. Okay.
yeah, and I'm in the South area right now. As
Okay.
we
Nobody breaking in to attack you at the moment, though.
not at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, cross our fingers on this one, but
Well, talk fast and hopefully finish.
yeah. So yeah. So growing up in that area, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. So you know, you grow up seeing that, and you know, you're around it. So as you grow up, you know, it's going to be two choices: either you're gonna, you know, you're gonna avoid it and maybe stay indoors and lock them up, or you're gonna come out and participate.
Right.
So that's kind of what, you know, I chose to do, was to come out and become part of the mix. And becoming a part of that mix, it led me down a long, you know, dark path.
How old were you when that started?
We're going all the way back to, like, man, I mean, probably, you know, 5,
Okay.
you know, 5, 6, 7 years old. Yeah. I started off in a apartment complex, you know, with you know, a bunch of, I would say, you know, troubled kids, and and I became one of them, you know, and ever since then, I mean, you grow into it, you know. It's kind of like, it's almost not, you know, when you're so young like that, it's not really a choice. You're kind of just molded into something, because you come out the house to play, and this is what you see, this is what you're around. So you know, you just take it. You take it in and you take it as it comes.
Those become your friends, basically, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, they're your friends. This is all you know. You know, you could take anybody, you know, wherever they grow up and grow around, that's all they know. So that's all they're gonna be, you know.
Right.
Until you get older and you can understand and you can make, you know, wise decisions for yourself, whatever, you know, the case may be. But yeah, so for me, that I was from, you know, a troubled area with troubled kids, so I became one, you know, and that lasted for a long time. It lasted for years, I would say, almost my whole life. I barely made it.
What did you do during the day? I mean, what were the activities, and what did people talk about? What was it like?
Then, when we were younger?
Yeah.
So then, when you're younger, it was pretty much gangster lifestyle. So, you know,
so
stuff
for people that don't know what a gangster lifestyle is, all they've seen is, you know, some movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So what's it really like?
So it's similar to the movies. You know, the movies kind of, you know, sometimes it's a movie, but the story comes from real life, so it's got a lot of similarities. Yeah, we're very, you know, territorial. It's a lot of minorities out here, so it gets segregated. You know, a lot of different people, different races stick with their own kind, and depending on
do they live in different places, or they just go to separate places when they go outside?
Both. But like you said, like we're just talking earlier, it's funny. It'd be like one apartment complex could be, you know, full of one race, and then you go like right next door, and then it almost changes, you know. So
right.
And so you grow up around that. Sometimes you'll have it'll be mostly one race, and there'll be a couple different races in there, and they'll grow up with those people, so they'll become them rather their own race. So that happens.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's the trip.
Are the gangs actually operating with the real young kids too, or you have to wait till you're older?
No, they see, that goes back to like me, like you're raised, as soon as you come out the house, you're already participating, so you're good to go. I mean, as long as you can get over there, you're with them, you know. So you're kind of just being raised into it, you know, as you go along.
It becomes your family, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, it becomes your family. You know, the only way, maybe like if you had an older brother or something that wouldn't let you come around or something like that. But
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes they have an older brother and they actually bring, you know, the little brother with them and start
Yeah.
showing them this way of life, you know.
Yeah.
So and when you do that though, that's kind of like not there, you're taking away his choice again, you know, instead of him just sitting back and seeing what he wants to do, you're kind of like just throwing him into it. But
Right. And how
yeah.
do the parents interact with their kids getting into all that?
A lot of times, I would say the parents are busy because, uh, um, like for my mom when I was growing up, she used to work all day. So, you know,
Right.
like I could behave when she's home and I could watch my cartoons and eat cereal, but
Uh, Try to
soon as
make believe you're normal, kind of, right?
yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
I already have bad intentions. Like I'm just can't wait till she goes to work. As soon as she goes to work, boom, you know, it's gangster time.
Yeah.
So I
And they
might say I'm next door at Tommy's, but really I'm down the street, you know, in an alley with about 15 other gang members. So, you know,
right, and they make that the exciting part, right?
yeah,
That you
yeah.
want to get
But
back.
that's another thing. When you're young, you know, you're young, so you're growing up. So all this stuff is, you know, is very exciting. It's cool. You know, you want to do it. And I
Right.
mean, everything else almost don't matter. It's like, yeah, it's
And you've
like
got role
gangster
models.
life.
You've got the older gang guys that look super cool, right?
Older
And all you
guys.
have, they tell you what to do to become like them.
Exactly. They got the cool car and you know, they got the tattoos and they're in shape and you can't disrespect them. They'll beat you up and all the girls like them and yeah, man, I can't wait. You know what I mean? I mean, whew, when
Yeah,
do I get to
exactly.
be one of those guys? Yeah.
Yeah. So you got your role models, and then you going to school at the same time in the regular school?
Oh yeah, yeah, but you got to remember so this area all those kids from the area go to that school. So now you're
Right.
just intermingling with everybody. And that's why there's
Okay.
also a lot of fights because of that reason. You know, you got certain people from this area mixed in with kids from this area and you know they're raised not to like that area, so there they go at school. Now you got
So
your
are
fight.
those officially different gangs in the school that fight each other?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Okay. And they fight. They don't need really something to fight about. They just fight because they're in different gangs.
We grow up wanting to fight, so any little reason we're gonna take it, you know.
Okay. And I guess
A-
that's because that's how you prove that you're getting tougher and better, right? Is
yeah,
by
at,
winning
at that
fights.
time, at that time you're getting raised like that. That's almost like becoming a man. You know what I
Got
mean?
it.
Like this is
Right.
what you do to become a man. So you know, we all want to be grown men. So I guess we're on our way.
Got it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, are the girls going through something similar on their
Yeah,
side?
yeah, girl, they're females, so they're never gonna be that extreme to you know the males. But yeah, they're going through the same thing. They're same thing because they're family. They're growing up in the areas. You know, that's what they see. You know, and they're doing the same thing. They're fighting each other and you know
Right.
breaking rules. And
Okay.
it might
And
just
they
be a little toned down for them, but they're
but
pretty
they've
much on
got their role models to follow, right? Just like you did.
exactly.
Okay. So then eventually you got into like junior high and high school, and how did it evolve at that point?
Well, at that point, you're pretty much just getting, if that's the route you're going, you're just getting deeper into it. You
Okay.
know, see, it's like when you're a kid, you can break rules, break laws, get in trouble. It's kind of a slap on the hand. You're just a kid. But as you
Right.
get older, there's going to be some consequences that come with that. So
So does that start in junior high level, you think?
yeah, I think the first time I really got arrested and thrown in the back of a cop car, I was 12. So
Okay.
I believe I was in seventh grade at that time.
That's
I was
seventh
12.
grade, probably, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And that's
so
the.
what was your reaction when that happened? Is that just expected? That was part of your
Oh yeah,
the pathway to growing up, basically, right?
yeah. Because I was already committing crime, and basically I was just. It's a matter of time before you know you get caught. But when you're growing up like that, you almost don't care if you get caught. You're not trying to get caught, but if it happens, you know, oh well. you'll pay the consequences or whatever.
Right. And in a way, you get respected for that, I would think, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, and then but then you're going down another road. So now they want to see who you are. See, because when you start getting incarcerated, whether it be juvenile hall or county jail or prison, you don't have your neighborhood and your friends and your older brother and your uncle. You don't have that's taken away from you.
Right.
So all they got is you. So it's one thing to prove yourself on the streets with the people you grew up with, but now you almost have to do it all over again by yourself in correctional facilities.
Right, because you've got other people around you there that are a whole other society, basically.
Yeah,
right?
and it's even bigger. You got more people from everywhere. It's even worse than school now.
Yeah,
it's like a school.
Yeah. And so there's segregation inside prisons too.
Oh
for
yeah,
that reason, right?
Yeah.
And do the prison management people go along with that, and they segregate the different races and gangs and stuff in different parts?
Well, they don't. The system doesn't separate us, but the inmates, we take it upon ourselves to do it ourselves.
Well, yeah, but you don't get to choose where your cell is, right?
No. They'll pretty much what they'll do is they'll find whoever you are. So if you're a white guy, you're rolling with the whites. If you're Mexican, you're rolling with Mexicans, whatever. So if they have a space there for you, you're going in with them.
Okay, got it. Because the guards probably learn that they get less fighting if they do the segregation.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Than if they put them all together.
Yeah, they pretty much have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to put you in there with somebody that you're not compatible with. There's definitely gonna be some issues right then.
Right.
We ain't even gonna be making our beds. We're just gonna drop our stuff in. Let's do what we got to do.
So when you start, I'm assuming this happened to you periodically. When once in a while you get picked up and put in juvenile hall or jail or whatever over and over. What were you learning and thinking when that was happening before you changed?
Before I changed. Okay, well, before I changed, in my mind, I remember pretty much this is me. This is what I do. I'm a gangster. I commit crime. I get caught. Wherever they send me, I'm going to go. Wherever they put me, if I have an issue, I'm going to handle it. Like, that was my motive at the time. How
did you learn to survive with all those, unfriendly environment around you and in there?
Well, you kind of that's when it really falls on you as a person. That's because, man, you'll be surprised. You'll see big guys with tattoos everywhere. I mean, and they go in there and fall apart, so it don't really matter. So it depends, on the person. That's when you got to kind of bring out your inner strength, because not only you got to be physically strong, you got to be a lot of mental. Because you're basically living like in a bathroom now. You're living in there with somebody, so you start thinking about a lot of stuff.
So it's not just all the big guys make it and all the small guys get destroyed.
Oh, no, not at all. Sometimes the big guy will fall, but the little guy ended up being stronger in here. So and up here.
Right.
So yeah, that counts. That counts a lot.
Very demanding environment. So.
Oh yeah. One way or the highway in there.
Yeah. So what age would you say you were when things really changed?
So, let's see. I first got arrested at 12. I probably first did time when I was maybe 14 or 15.
And that was in a regular jail, I guess, right?
No, that was juvenile hall. Until I turned 19. I just turned 19 was the first time I've been to prison. Now you're with the big boys now, because that's 18 on up, grown men. So I've been in and out of prison 7 times. I actually been to prison 7 times. Like I said, remember at that time, my mind, this is what I do. I'm in and out of prison. This
so that was from age 19 until when?
So I would have to say, I got out when did I get out? 36. So I would say maybe my early 30s, maybe about, I want to say maybe early 30s, 31 or 32.
That was more than 10 years of going in and out of that.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. More than
And
10 years.
was there one specific time when you just got a kind of an inspiration and a new idea of what to do, or was it gradual that something else started sinking in?
I want to say like all of those above at the same time.
Okay.
It's kind of hard, like, so for one, I'm becoming older now. See, that's already one. In your early 30s, you don't think the same as 14, 15 years old.
Right.
You know? And remember, I already been to prison 7 times. So, first, second, third time might have been fun. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what makes the difference, David? Because there's some people who are 30 or 40 or 50 and they just stay on that track.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
How come that didn't happen to you?
Okay, so funny that you say that, because I kind of want to say, so this all happened very fast, all at once. But so I was in there, and I think I just got off the bunk bed one day, and I looked out my little window, because you get a little square window and you can see everybody walking around, and I seen an older guy. Who was just here, and he went home, so he wasn't serving life. Because there's old guys there, but they're doing life. They're not going home. They're gonna die in there.
Yeah.
But like you just said right now, so I see an older guy. He went home probably in his 50s, and man, he might have been out for like a couple months max. Came right back.
Right.
So I see this dude, in his 50s, walking by, and then right there, just like a punch in the face. I was like, man, shouldn't this guy be outside, like barbecuing and chasing the grandkids in the backyard or something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck, this guy just got a chance to go out there and live, and he came right back. And that's when it hit me. I said, holy crap, am I going to be like that? Like,
Right.
This is already 7 times in prison. Like, I started off, like you said, 19, and I'm in my early 30s now. What's next? 40s, then 50s, 60s. We're going to retire in here or what? So
Yeah.
that's when right there I really started. That woke me up. That just by seeing that older gentleman walk by, I was like, yeah. I think I even took a look back and looked at my bunk bed and my little clothes and my little pillow, and I was like, yeah, I got to get out of here.
Yeah. So how much longer did you have to wait before you could get out?
Man, at that moment, I probably still had like 4 years to go.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little less, 3-4 years.
Okay, but it was 3 or 4 years before you actually had a chance to get out at that point and try something different. So what did you change while you were still in? Anything?
Okay, so yeah, of course. So I would say that already helped my mind frame, as far as I need to change, because prior to that I didn't feel I need to change anything. This is what I do. Remember, this is my lifestyle.
Yeah. Exactly.
So now that's switching over to wait a minute, I don't like this lifestyle. Maybe I might need to switch something up. So I always been into fitness. That's one thing. I played sports. My family put me into sports. I played baseball, football, different types of things. And for me, I used to get really bored with everything. So I would say when I was 15, my uncle sent a message and said, hey, tell him to come over here, and I got a little weight set in my garage, and we'll see how he likes that.
Right.
So I went over there, and I got into the weights with him, and that was it. Sealed the deal. So I guess I like the challenge that, because you could never really conquer fitness. Every time you conquer one thing, there's always another step. Exactly. It's like baseball. I hit the ball, it went far. I went all the way around. I made a home run. Yeah. And that's about as far as it's gonna go.
That's the top level, right?
Yeah, that's the top level. Yeah, I made some home runs, back in my day. Yeah. But the thing about fitness is you will never make that home run. Like, every time you think you're at the top of your game, guess what? Right. A whole nother door opens and you start all over again. Yeah. So I want to say that hooked me. So now I'm off and on with working out, lifting weights, and stuff like that since I was 15. So when you go to prison, they don't have weights. They took the weights out of there. I would say 96, 97, because the inmates were using them as weapons.
Yeah,
See?
right.
And there we go, messing that up. So at one time we were privileged to have weights, but they took them away from us because we don't know how to act right with them.
Right.
So we lost those. But they did give us they would give us out here it's called a tower. You can find it at Big Five. So it's like it's a pull-up bar connected to a dip bar, and it goes to the ground, and it even got a little area for push-ups.
Okay.
And different yards, different prisons got different types of those. Some pull-up bars are better, some dip bars are better, but so that's all you got. So that's now the weights are gone, so you got body weight now. So I get to prison, and I jump on board. So I do the body weight, so which is your basics. You got your push-ups, your dips, and your pull-ups. But after in and out 7 times, you know, the same old thing, it got pretty boring.
Yeah.
So on this last time I went, this was new. We got cell phones now in prison.
Okay.
Yeah, people get caught all the time. Yeah, but well, which is good, right? So we have cell phones. We get to watch entertainment. Not only that, you kind of educate yourself. You know.
Okay, so you mean you can watch videos and go online on the phone?
Videos. Like you can watch YouTube. We could probably tune in to you and be, you know.
Okay. Okay. Neat. Yeah.
Let's tune in. So rich. In the prison system.
We should announce it in all the prisons. Look, you know, David's gonna talk to you guys.
Yeah. They'll be like, hey, I remember that guy. But yeah, so I got a hold of a cell phone in there, which was new, and so everybody's big on that YouTube, and I wasn't too I wasn't too big on the YouTube because I've been in and out of the prison system. I missed all that YouTube stuff. So people are like, yeah, YouTube, you know, they got a lot of different stuff on there. So this is in there, you know, I'm hearing about it.
Yeah.
And so I'm not too interested in too many things. You know, I just come from a gangster life. That's pretty much what held my interest my whole life. You know, I'm barely transitioning and kind of, you know, getting out of that thought process. So I end up typing in, I want to say extreme body weight workout, because I'm doing these pull-ups, I'm doing these dips about as much as I can do every day, all day.
Now, at this point, how long is it before you get out? Is it, we said it was 3 or 4 years in the beginning. Yeah. What is that when it started?
Yeah, I probably had about 3 years left at this point. Okay,
got it.
So so I typed that in, and because I want some new ideas, you know, how to work out on body weight, you know.
Yeah.
The YouTube supposedly has everything, so I want to see, you know, what do they got for body weight workouts that I can do in here, because we don't have weights.
Okay.
So as soon as I type that in, boom, this dude Ed from Barstarzz pops up. So now you got Ed and the Barstarzz, boom, popping up, and these dudes are flipping over the pull-up bar.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like, I just pulled up to my chin. I thought that was, you know, hot stuff. These guys are jumping over the bar. They're jumping in the air, you know, clapping their hands, catching the bar, going back up. I was immediately like, oh, this is the coolest stuff I ever seen.
I mean, it's hard to believe it's even possible when you see it the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's like no big deal, right? But at that moment, I was shocked. I was amazed. Like, dang, how are these dudes? And these guys, like you said, these guys are real people. Ed is, you know, he's from a minority neighborhood in his area in New York. You know, he's based out of the East Coast of New York, and you know, his friends got tattoos and, you know, stuff like that. These are street people, you know, that I can actually relate to. Right. You know, and they didn't grow up in a gymnastics gym or anything like that. You know, they took it upon themselves to make a choice to, you know, to do these things. And so, and it was weird because this is all at around the same time as I seen the older gentleman, and he already kind of switched my mind up. And then I typed this in, and this guy pops up, Ed Barstarzz, and immediately I'm focused on it. This is my new thing now. You know, I don't care about nothing else. This is so cool that, you know, this is all I care about at this moment. So I want to say like watching they got tons of, like you said in the beginning of the interview, they got tons of YouTube you know, videos. It goes on and on with these guys, the Barstarzz. So I used to go outside, come in, and it became like a TV show to me. I would just watch videos over and over and over, so many different videos. And as I'm doing that, I would say that's basically I didn't even notice, but it's basically mentally pulling me out of the gangster life.
I think it was giving you role models that replaced the old ones.
Yeah.
People like Ed and all the other ones.
Yeah, I would agree, because prior to that, the gangster role models you're right, they holded my energy. That's what I was focused on.
You're subconsciously molding yourself to become like them, right?
Yeah.
And
that's
then
all I've seen from day one.
Exactly. So now you have different ones.
Yeah, so that's why I even want to almost say like I was reborn. I like to say that. Like they say you can't be born twice. I disagree.
No, it sounds like that's what happened.
Yeah, at this moment, it's like, boom, the 33-year-old David is being born now, you know what I mean? And my whole interest and what I'm focused on and who I look up to.
It's super exciting, life is not boring and depressing anymore. It's just really like electrifying.
Exactly. And at the same time, being so focused on the Barstarzz, it actually like mentally helped me escape of like really it was my relief, from where I'm at, because I'm in prison at the moment, so it's
when you were taking this medicine while you were watching all these videos and movies, one after another, it's like a blood transfusion.
Yeah, exactly. And it actually it gave me every day, it gave me something to look forward to. It was giving me, a lot of purpose and meaning. Because prior to that, it was just like really just messing up, committing crime, just having fun. Like life is a game, and bottom line, life's not a game. And when you go down that path, they got repercussions for that, Like I already been in prison 7 times. Do you want to make it 8? Do you want to make it 9? Do you want to make it 10 times? They'll keep going as long as you keep.
It is kind of like a video game with your character can be totally destroyed
until you get until you get caught. There's no more games, man. You'll be sitting there and you'll be like, dang,
Yeah, so, that was a mistake, huh?
Yeah. So for me, I would say the Barstarzz, the calisthenics movement, it pretty much saved my life.
So you did that for 3 years while you were still in, roughly, right?
Well, I actually I watched it for probably almost a year. So because you got to remember, when we go out to the prison yard, there's everyone's out there. So all the gang members, you got all the gang members out there. You got your buddies out there. And you got prison guards out there, so that's a lot of pressure. You got people from everywhere. So the stuff that the Barstarzz are doing is advanced. Like I could do a pull-up, but I don't know about going above the bar and twisting and turning and all that fancy stuff. So I want to say I had to watch it for like about a year to where I finally even reached a point in my life where I was like, you know what? I don't care if I fall. I don't care if I bust my head open, lose my teeth. Tomorrow, I'm doing this.
Right, and you also had to not care about criticism from the other people in the yard, right?
It took me a year to build up to this point, because it's like I wanted to do it so bad, but I just didn't want to do it out there. But you have no choice. This is prison. They're not going to shut down the prison so you could go do your stuff.
Right.
And,
let you rent the yard for an hour.
It definitely doesn't work that way. It's not going to work. So I finally built up enough guts, man. And I say, you know what? I'm going for it, and I went for it.
So
and
you already had the background.
I worked out this morning, matter of fact.
You had gone to the university of a year of watching videos.
Yeah.
So you had the background in your mind.
Yeah.
And you knew you knew the progressions, right? So you wouldn't get hurt. Exactly.
I mean, as far as I didn't have nobody to physically show me, because a lot of guys out here, even I do too now, because I'm out here, they got classes, they got gyms for this, they got a bunch of stuff. I even held classes myself. But at this time, I'm the only one, into this behind walls. So that's all I had. So the phone was my classes. The YouTube, was my teacher.
Were the other inmates exercising in any way or not?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of inmates exercising, but once again, that goes back to the same stuff that I was doing. It's the basics, because nobody reached that point yet. Nobody reached the potential of so much that you can do on that pull-up bar, so much you can do on the floor, etc.
So they were doing push-ups and pull-ups and squats and stuff like that.
Of course, they could do tons. They'll do 50 pull-ups behind the neck, no problem. But that's it. That's where they draw the line.
So you had some really strong people in there.
Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah, they look like bodybuilders, man.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So is that because they let them spend a lot of time in the yard and they just really exercised a lot?
Yeah, that's exactly why. Okay. I mean, you're in prison. We have nothing else to do. Not only on the yard, like we work out in our cell. I got footage of me working out in my cell. Anywhere. You're locked up. You don't have much going on. This is pretty much your life. Well, don't get me wrong. Some guys, it's all up to you. Some guys, they'll watch TV all day. Some guys read books. They'll sit read books. Some guys play chess. A lot of older guys, they'll play chess for hours. They'll drink coffee and they'll kill their whole day. Their whole day's gone because they'll just be chess. Some play cards. But yeah, I was more into fitness because remember, I started with my uncle when I was 15, so I kind of got a little fitness background. Yeah.
You already knew you liked it.
Yeah, the challenge.
So how was the progress you made during the last couple of years before you got out?
Oh yeah, it was a lot. So I pretty much changed in there, and I want to say that I changed the mental changed a lot because I'm no longer finding myself standing around other gang members talking about gang member things. Like that no longer holds my interest, which it used to. That was my thing. We hang out. We're gang members. We talk about gang stuff. That's what we do. Right. But at this point, I'm kind of like drifting off away from that. And on the yard, you only got so much time. It's like, no, I gotta work out. I got so much time to be on these bars. I'm trying this new trick, or I want to get
So how did the other inmates react to your change?
It's the same as in life, like anything else. You're gonna have some that are, what the hell's wrong with this guy, and then you're gonna got others that are, that's super cool. Can you show me how to do that? So it's the same thing out here in the gym. When I do stuff in the gym, sometimes I get weird looks, and then there'll be another guy. He'll come up to me, tap me, and be like, "Hey, man, how'd you do that? Can you show me?
Can you please show me what to do?"
Exactly, and that's exactly why I do it. Just that one guy who had the nerve to tap me on the shoulder. There it is.
So what happened when you got out?
So when I got out, this is where I'm focused. So like, prior to me even getting out, I'm like, I already did all kinds of like research and back, so I can't wait to get out. When I get out, I'm gonna like go buy gym clothes and I'm gonna go to the gym, and I can't wait, and I already know there's so much more opportunity within this stuff than in prison, of course. So I can't wait to go out there, and do this stuff. So I get out. Surprisingly, I'm finding nobody actually doing this stuff.
Wow.
Everybody, in the gym is pretty much bodybuilders and, powerlifters. That's pretty much a big thing right now. So it's been for a little while. There's not too much calisthenics going on. And then I go to the park, I see guys doing it at the park too, but they're back to the basics. They're just doing the pull-ups and trying to stay, fit or in shape, doing their, their push-ups.
I don't know this like you do, but I have noticed in calisthenics that a lot of people don't know how to get beyond the basics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they would like to, but they just, it feels like they're staying the same.
Yeah. Well, and just like in anything else, in life, there's steps, you gotta, but if you could already do the basics, that's already a foundation. So, now it's just time to go above that. But, all it is just take some steps, and if that's what you want, if you want to get advanced and you want to fly around and do your muscle ups and stuff, then it goes back to training, that you got to figure out what you want to do and you got to train for it. But yeah, you most definitely anybody can really do it.
I noticed in one of Ed's Barstarzz videos, I saw a guy doing muscle ups who was like 340 pounds or something in New York.
Yeah. See,
the heaviest guy to ever do it.
Yeah, we got anything. We got it all. We got anything from kids to elderly people, to heavy people, little small people you think that's weak. No, they're flying around. Like, you'll be surprised. This lifestyle fits everybody, if they want it. Like, goes back to the choices, but if they want it, it most definitely will help them.
Okay, so one thing we try to do with these shows is not just appeal to the people who know about what we're talking about, but the people who never heard of it in their life. So if for somebody who doesn't have any idea what calisthenics is, why don't you try to explain it? I mean, just imagine somebody's never heard of it or seen it or anything.
Okay, so basically calisthenics is just a body weight fitness. That's all it is. So it's a form of fitness with no weights. So you're not using no weights.
Okay, so you don't have to get a barbell or dumbbells. Your body weighs a certain amount, no matter what size it is.
Yes.
And that's the weight you use for your exercise.
And now if you're starting off, more than likely what you're going to need to do is called modified calisthenics. So what you're going to do is you're going to use objects around you to lighten up your weight. So you're not just going straight for the pull-up, straight for the push-up, straight for the dip, because those things could be they could be an obstacle for you. So now you want to use things. You want to use your kitchen counter, a chair, all types of things, whatever. You can buy stuff if you want, from Big Five or Sporting.
So before we get into the details of how to do it, everything needs purpose. That's why you would even try to do something. So why would anybody ever want to do calisthenics? I mean, it's kind of hard. You could be sitting watching TV and having a good time. So why do you want to do calisthenics?
Okay, well, the thing is with this, it is a lot of work, It is, but it ain't at the same time. But so the sitting and watching TV, that's cool and everything. But if you're doing this, if that's your program for years at a time, and that's what you always do, and you're not getting up and getting active, as you get older, that's basically what you're going to turn into. I think that's where the term couch potato comes into play, right?
Right.
So eventually you're going to get up, and that's how your back's going to look, and you're going to be walking around, and
so it's like the question for anybody watching is, what do you want to feel like, and what do you want to look like, and what kind of energy level do you want to experience every day of your life? And when you decide and kind of get clear on what you want to feel like, then you decide, all right, how do I do that? And a lot of people want to do that, but they want an easy way. So I think, oh, no problem, I'll just take drugs. And then, because they want to feel good, and you feel good for a few minutes, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. So if there's anything instead of a drug, or actually this is drugs, you're just producing them inside your body when you move, right? And they have no downside.
No downside.
And they make you feel happier about everything.
Make you feel, look, everything better. I mean, there's I can't think of almost no negative side to it. I mean,
even if you're dealing with some really hard outside problem that's not changing right away, it totally changes how it feels when you change what you're doing, right?
Yes, because as you feel and look better about yourself, you naturally become a happier person too, You feel good versus, just molding into a little biscuit over there on the couch, You're up, and your energy levels is up, and you feel better, and you're capable of, moving and doing different things that normally you can do.
So I don't want to lose anybody on this, but I do want to cover the different groups, because some people who are new to this might be kids, and they're just thinking of it for the first time. Some people might be 90 years old and say, well, it sounds good, but, it's too late for me. And we want to see who can we encourage, and let them know how to start.
Well, first off, for the kids, that's an A+, because I always preach this, that the sooner the better. Because I didn't even start till my early 30s, and I'm in my late 30s now, but I'm actually pretty decent. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
And but I actually got friends that are 15 years old, and they started younger, and now that they're 15, they're kicking butt. I mean, these dudes are like real life Spider-Mans. So like, imagine if you take a boy or a girl that's 4 or 5 years old, a little kid with a lot of energy, and instead of playing, it's almost like sports. Instead of putting him in sports, you're putting him into this. Just think how that kid's going to be at the age of 10, the age of 12. They're going to be no joke.
Right. And it makes you better at everything, I would imagine.
I mean, you're just capable of moving different, because this is the type of movement that you do. So just on an average day, like, you might make a sharp turn, and you ain't gonna throw your hip out or anything like that. You just, it's what you do. So yeah, really good.
Okay, and what about for the guy who's 90 years old and saying, this sounds really good, I wish I had done it 60 years ago, but I didn't,
Same thing like same thing like I told my grandmother. My grandmother's she's going on 80, and she's new to calisthenics. I got her on it. So every morning she pretty much stretches and does light modified calisthenics. The same thing, I got her doing push-ups. She's almost 80, and she's doing push-ups off of her kitchen counter every morning.
Okay, so let's look at 3 groups: the little kids, the people your age, and the people your grandmother's age or older. Mm-hmm. And how does each one of those groups start if they think it sounds pretty good and they want to try it?
All of them will pretty much start with the stretching and modified calisthenics, modified body weight workouts.
So all of them. You stretch first?
Oh yeah, always. Stretching's a big deal. I never used to take stretching serious, and this goes back to my gangster ways, because honestly, like, I was like, stretching, like, the heck, be over here stretching, what is this, Richard Simmons? I'm not stretching, I'm just gonna go in there and get to it. But you're not gonna be 14, 15 forever, you're not even gonna be 21 forever. So now I started to notice, like, I never used to crack like that, what's going on here? And I look deeper into that, stretching,
Okay.
And it's a big deal, man. And that's how you could pull muscles if you just jump into things, or
So do you stretch before? You stretch before every workout?
Yes, most definitely. Yeah. Sometimes even after. I mean, so you got to give your body a break. It's not good to work out every single day.
That was my next question.
Sometimes I want to, so I'll force myself to, like, no working out today. I got a planned day, like, nope, no working out. So what that does is that gives your body time to heal and and put itself back together. But even on those days, I still stretch, so I'll still take at least.
So the days off of calisthenics, do you just make a program of day on, day off, day on, or do you wait and see how you feel each day and decide whether to do it?
Then again, that goes up to every individual. If you're trying to get advanced and extreme, obviously you're gonna have to work out a lot more. If you're just trying to, stay in shape and eat fit and mobility, then you just you can work out 3 times a week, and stretch the next days.
Okay, so for what you just said applies to all ages, I'm sure.
All ages.
But if you're young and you want to start, besides the stretching and the days on and off, and you don't know anything, how do you start? If you're a kid.
Modify calisthenics to see where their strength is, and so they get familiar with the movements and the exercise.
Okay, and is there any difference between that and the instructions for a person who's 90?
Well, for one, mobility and energy, because obviously a kid is going to be able to, move more, and they're going to have more energy.
Right.
Yeah, they're kids. Those little guys could just fall down and get back up and take off running. I see my little cousins do it all the time. I'm like, I'd have been laid out there for at least 2 hours tops.
Exactly.
I'd have need some ice packs, and people would have had to come help pick me up. So that's into play. So older people want to take it more easier. The older they are, they want to take it easy. They want to go real light. You're not. It's not like you're going into competition or anything. Obviously you're older, but that doesn't mean that you're out. You're still in the game. You're still alive. You're still in the game. You're still in the race.
what would an older person actually do to start? They don't know what a modified calisthenic is or anything. I mean, what do they do to start?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and just show you. So
Yeah.
I got this modified bar right here in the back. Can you see this bad boy?
Yeah. Real well.
Okay, so now it don't have to be a bar. Like, you can imagine this could be a table, a kitchen counter, a chair, anything. Maybe I would say to about chest level.
Okay.
So something around chest to maybe nose level. Now the higher that you get, it's going to be easier. So you want to start something like this. That's all you have to do. That right there is a modified push-up, my friend.
Okay, and
Just
what are push-ups good for?
Push-ups are good almost for your whole, I want to say your whole upper body, but it's more for the pushing. So it's going to be like your back arm, your chest, your shoulders. It's got even the back of your shoulders right here on your back. All that mobility right there is going to be working. It's all mobility and strength.
And a normal push-up is on the floor, right?
A normal push-up's on the floor, which is going to be a lot harder because now you're going against gravity.
Yeah.
So you want to start high to see where you're at. Everybody's different. Some people are stronger than others naturally, never even worked out before. So you want to start high, see how that goes. And as you get stronger and you feel better about that, you go lower and you go lower. Eventually, you might even hit the floor. And if not, you can always just stay there. At least you're still doing something.
So if you want to start on your first day, if you don't want to have some kind of bad experience or have it too hard, you stand up almost straight up, right?
Yeah.
And see how it feels.
You can even use a wall. You could go to your wall in your house and just put your hands against it in front of you and just push off of that. And see how that feels.
Okay.
Doing something is better than not doing anything at all.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it doesn't hurt or it doesn't feel too hard or anything if you're upright.
My grandmother, she's fine with the countertop, and she does that every day. It's to keep her mobility. Yeah, she does her stretching, mobility, and a little bit of strength. Because it's starting to get hard to open up those pickle jars and all that type of stuff.
Exactly.
So she does this every day just to keep a little bit limber and makes her feel energized, and she got a little bit of strength for an older woman.
And it even would help your hands too, right? Because you're grabbing the edge of the
your grip, exactly. Your grip, your finger gripping, grabbing things. Because eventually, if you're not doing these things on an average, it's going to be hard to pour a cup of water, a cup of coffe. I mean,
exactly.
That's going to be
end up helpless.
Yeah, it's going to become a big deal. You're going to have no choice basically but to sit, on the couch and watch TV. But
it's
you kind of
definitely not as much fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you're starting out and you're 90 years old, or you feel like you are, then you start almost straight up with that exercise. How many days a week would you do that, and how many repetitions and sets would you do?
If you're just trying to, I would say if you're just trying to, kind of stay mobility with a little bit of strength, 3 times a week is fine. 3 or 4 times a week. Get your stretching in, get that in. You could do 3 sets of 5. Just do 5, take a break, go in for another 5, take a break, and then finish your 5. That's 3 sets.
And then if it gets really easy,
you
can start changing the angle that you're standing at too. Right?
You could change the angle, you could increase the numbers, instead of 5, you could go 10. Instead of 3 rounds, you could go 5 rounds, it's all up to you.
Okay. So that's starting to wake up your upper body and start getting some mobility and strength and everything. So what other parts of your body do you need to do something like that for to start?
You got your lower. You could do I know you guys should be familiar with squats. If not, basically it's this is easy too. So you like the couch, right? Okay, so you're on the couch watching TV. Get up. Sit back down. Get up. Okay. Sit back down. Boom. I just did 2 squats right there.
Okay.
Those two just help my legs better than not right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then as people get stronger and it's easier to, they feel like it's getting really easy to get up and down off the couch. What are the things that follow that?
They could get away from the couch. Therefore, so the couch is support because you're sitting on it and it's holding your weight, and then you're standing back up. So now go 5 feet in front of the couch. Now you have no couch. So now you're just your own body weight. So now you could drop even lower than the couch and then go back up, and you could go faster, slower. The cool thing about this is once you get into it, you're your own coach. It's up to you,
Right.
If you want to move forward, if you want to move faster, or if you're fine with, how you're doing or whatever. And if you want to get extreme, I mean, you could hold weights to make you heavier, and you could also do it on one leg. You could do a squat with one leg. It's called pistol squats. Yeah. And that's
and so one thing we should say for the older people or even younger people who've never done this, make sure that you're aware of your own capacity so you don't do more than you can. If you are working with somebody on your health, check with them so that they go together. The exercise is part of your overall health program that you're on. And the healthier that you stay, the less trouble you're going to have following these progressions that David's talking about. And that way you don't hurt yourself. So let's see. What about core exercises for the people just starting? For the abdominal at front of the body and also for the back, what they call posterior chain muscles. Yeah. And because I'm thinking of a simple full body thing could be push-ups and squats and maybe some abs and back exercises to go with that if they could.
And what I like about body weight workout, almost every exercise in body weight actually attacks your core, because everything you're doing, it's not just sitting down and just working arms. It's always a movement. You're always constantly, and that's why a lot of calisthenics people, they're very lean and they all got nice stomachs, because it's constantly working even when you're not working it.
Yeah. But
exactly. I'm a big fan of hanging from the bar, so you necessarily don't have to do a pull-up. You could just hang from it.
Right.
That works.
Let's talk about what a progression is, since you mentioned pull-ups, because pull-ups is one of the harder exercises, right, for beginners.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. And I see guys in the gym right now, and they're big and buff, and they can't even bring no pull-ups.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea of a progression, like if you use pull-ups as an example, is that instead of just giving up and you say, well, I can never do pull-ups, it's too hard, the progression says, well, yeah, you can, but you do it by steps.
Exactly.
So what are the steps for a pull-up?
So we take it right back over here to the bar, which I like to call it's a vertical roll or Australian pull-up. So what this is, same thing. The higher, the easier. The lower, it gets harder. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep your feet on the floor, though. So your feet are never leaving the ground. So that's already taken off the weight, because you're not fighting gravity as much.
Okay.
So it looks something like this. There it is. That's your pull-up.
Okay.
And that is much easier from hanging and your feet actually coming off the floor. If you find something even higher than that, it's even easier.
Okay. So if there's a few different things to grab onto like that, you start out with the ones that are higher up, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You could go all the way up to face level to where you're barely even, leaning back.
Just the equivalent of what you just said with the push-up, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it started against a wall with that.
Yeah. The only thing is you can't hold on to a wall, so you would have to find another object, that you could hold on to. But same thing. I mean, you can even throw some ropes around in the garage around some wood and or towels, and hold it.
It doesn't have to be a bar, in other words.
It doesn't have to be a bar, exactly.
Okay.
It don't have to be a bar.
Yeah. So where does hanging fit into all this that you were talking about?
So hanging does a lot. It's a progression to the pull up. So before you can even pull up, you got to be able to hang, because that's what a pull up is. You hang, but then you pull up. Then you
So
go
you
back to
need a
hang.
bar. You need a bar that's above your head for that, right?
Not necessarily. As long as you can, if you can hold on to it and fold your legs back, to where like you would be on your knees, but you're off of the floor, you're good to go. As long
Okay.
as you're not touching the ground. Yeah.
Okay. And they have bars that are pretty cheap now that you can put in doorways in
Oh
your
yeah.
house, right?
Yeah, those are good. A lot of my friends got those. You get
And
those from like almost any sporting goods place. Same place they sell volleyballs and baseballs and basketballs. You get that there.
so if you get one of those bars and put it in the doorway, then what do you need to know to start hanging on it?
That's it. Grip it. Take that feet off the ground. The thing about hanging is it almost takes very little strength, and then when you can't hang no more, you just put your feet down. So as you
Okay.
get stronger, what's going to happen is you would just hang longer.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then suppose you get kind of comfortable with hanging. I've heard some people say that the next step toward a pull-up might be what they call active hang. Do you think that's right? Where the idea is passive hang is with your arms just out and you're just hanging limp, your hands are grabbing it, but the rest of your body's just relaxed.
Yeah.
Then active hang, you pull your shoulders down,
Oh yeah, we like to call that scapula pulls.
Okay, so is that a good step after the regular hang?
Yeah, we do those. That's basically what I do. That's part of my stretching. So my stretching would be is right when I enter the gym, I hang and I basically do a pull up without bending my elbows.
So you move a few inches, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. We also do it with the pushing too. It's the same thing. It's just scapula, so you don't bend your elbows. I'll give you a real short demonstration.
What it looks like.
So this would be your dip bar. I would jump up. This would be a dip, but at this point I wouldn't do that. I would just body down, body up, body down, body up. I'm just only moving with my shoulders.
Okay.
And what that does is, that loosens everything, stretching everything. It's almost like telling your body what we're getting ready to do.
So it's a warm-up.
Yeah, it's a warm-up. And it's actually take a little bit of strength too. So for some people, maybe that's all you want to do, and that's still good. Just that alone, that's still good.
Because as soon as you pick your feet up off the ground, there's a lot of new stresses on your shoulders and elbows and hands and everything.
Yeah, my feet were off the floor right there. And it's the same thing with the pulling. So you would hang and you would lock your elbows and you would just pull from your shoulders.
Okay.
And loosen all that up. And it still takes good strength to do that. So if you're happy with that, it's still good, yeah.
Okay, and then some people are saying that if you can do that, you step up on something to get your chin over the bar, but you just hang there.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's for strength.
Develop the top end, right?
Yeah, that's for strength. That's strength building. Because what you're doing is, right there, you're forcing your body to hold yourself up. So you're straining. It's like an isometric hold. So you're just holding yourself. You're building strength. That's good too. That also you could do like quarter pull-ups. So now you're hanging. You can't quite do a pull-up, but you're lifting your feet off of the floor and you're barely bending your elbows. Barely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually how I started. It was a while back. Don't get me wrong, many moons ago. But I actually started by I started by like baby pull-ups, quarter pull-ups, just barely bending my elbows. But that's all I had. That's all I had in me at that time. And eventually, what's gonna happen is just like anything else. You're building your strength. You're building your mobility. So you're gonna go higher, higher, and higher. And you're above the bar.
I think that's really important because people feel paralyzed and say, I'm no good at this. I can't do it. It's way too hard. Forget it.
That's a choice. That's all a choice. That's all it is. I've been there. I was one of them.
Yeah. So if the progressions say no, you can at least, pull yourself up a quarter inch or,
Sure.
some other progression things like that. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, and as you keep doing it, you get better and you get better. You get more limber, more mobility, and all that good stuff.
So what were the physical steps that you finally went through once you were on the outside of prison and you were working out, in better facilities? What, how, I'm trying to get a feeling of what your progression was like physically with the things you were able to do.
While with me, like I told you, what grabbed my attention was the cool stuff. The hopping around and flying around in the air. So that's the road that I took. So, and I started practicing that stuff and hanging out with people that do that. So kind of rub off on me and I could get better. That's the way I went about it. So I'm kind of more into the advanced extreme calisthenics. But like I said, it's all a choice. How far you want to take it.
So just to let people know, what kind of movements are you talking about?
So like, okay, so say you master the pull-up, say you get enough strength, you're doing 5-10 pull-ups. Now we got the muscle up. So the muscle up is actually a pull and a push together. So the first half is like this, a pull-up, but then you're gonna pull more and go above the bar, and then you push up. So
and
now the bar
that point right after the pull-up is probably one of the hardest, right? Where you're trying to get from pulling around to pushing.
Yeah,
and in the beginning, it feels like, forget it. There's no way to do that.
It sounds like you might have tried this before, Rich.
Well, yeah, I'd actually personally like to get better at this kind of stuff to show people that old people can do what you're talking about.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's funny you say that because everybody gets stuck at that point. It's that converting over,
Yeah.
But then again, they're not registering, they're not familiar with it, so it comes within time.
Is it because they're not doing enough pull-ups comfortably, or
it could be. So what I trained people on it. So right when they, because some people just want to go for the gusto because it looks cool. They're like, I want to do that. So the first thing I say is, how many pull-ups can you do? I could do 5. Okay, you're not gonna get that. I highly doubt it.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's like a super pull-up. So we need you to build your strength up high enough to, you're ready for that.
How many should you be able to comfortably do of strict form pull-ups?
I would say 15 to be on the safe side, but I have seen guys get it in 10 pull-ups.
Okay.
So, yeah. So if you got enough strength to pull yourself up and down, chin to the bar 10 times, if you learn this technique, because it's a technique, so if you learn it, you should be able to get it.
So do you think there's any way to give people a feel for how you would teach somebody who can do 10 or 15 pull-ups to start being able to do the muscle up? Can you demonstrate any of that and explain it?
Okay, so teaching the muscle up, I usually prior to that, I tell people to see, because it's a very fast movement, so you want to get explosive. So I tell them if they're doing pull-ups, no problem. They want to do a pull-up, clapping pull-up. So you're pulling up, you're letting go, clapping in the air, and catching it.
Now I would imagine that's pretty hard for most people, right? To go from pull-ups to clapping pull-ups.
It's actually well, I mean, if it is and it ain't, it's not as extreme, but yeah, if you're not on a pull-up level, then yeah, it's going to be rough. You might be able to let go, but then once you let go, you're out of there.
Yeah. So, but it's a good step on the way to the muscle up if you're ready for that kind of thing.
Yeah, because now what you're doing is you're training your body, because the muscle up is not a pull up. It's its own it's a muscle up, so it's very explosive. So now that clapping pull up, you're teaching your body to be explosive, to move faster, to move more powerful. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of what I mean.
Yeah, sounds good.
Can you see the white bar right there?
You can see it perfect. That's great.
Good?
Yep.
Okay, so this would be one of the. So you got your pull up. You got your clapping pull up. You guys see that?
Yes, perfect.
So now you're showing your body that, hey, you know, we got to get higher and faster. So after
Yeah,
that,
because now when you're doing the clapping pull-up, you're going higher than a regular pull-up, right?
exactly, yeah. So your pulling is almost turning into a yank. You're
Yeah,
yanking it.
because if you did it a regular pull-up and try to clap, you'd start falling down.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's why this is a progression towards, you know, the advance.
So how much higher are you trying to get to be able to clap?
You want to probably get to your chest.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That-
your chin's going over the bar now, is coming about to your chest.
And
So you want to.
and what do? You just pull harder and faster, right, to get up higher?
That's it.
Okay.
But that's why I asked if you can even do 10 to 15 pull-ups, because you got to have enough power to transfer over to that. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
If you're only bringing in 3 pull-ups, then you still got a little ways to go.
Got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that
Next
is going
step.
to turn in. That's going to turn into this. There you go. That's your muscle up.
Looks really easy when he does it.
So now we're going above the bar.
Right.
So
Yeah, that little switch, you know, between from pull to push is like you make it look really easy, but there's something to that.
yeah, there's something to do. And it's funny because some guys in the gym see it and they're like, "Oh, I could do that." I'll be like, "Yeah, go give it a shot." Nowhere. Nowhere fast. Yeah, nowhere fast.
How hard could it be, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, from there, that's probably like the most you would go within just reps and sets. Like that's a good muscle builder.
Okay.
But now if you want to even get more advanced, now you're going to start just like the clapping pull up, but you're going to clap in the air with that move. So I'll show you what I mean.
Let's see. Whoa.
There you go. So
That
this is getting.
Yeah, don't think new people that you can just walk up and do that right away.
Oh,
unless you're from Krypton or something.
Yeah,
but,
you might leave your head up there somewhere.
Yeah.
So this is I want to say it's a form of like a streets gymnastics. It's similar to gymnastics.
Yeah.
But you know, we don't have to be in a gymnastics gym to do this. But there's a lot of similarities.
Well, since you mentioned that, what's the difference between calisthenics that you do and gymnastics?
Gymnastics, of course, is gymnastics. So, you know, they got a certain way of training. They train for, you know, their real strict form technique because they're into like scoring points and things like that.
Right.
You know, that's why when they land and they go like this, they dismount.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're not doing all that. So we're like, that's why it's like a street gymnastics. So we're doing similar body movements, just without all the tech. You know, we're not trying to score points like that.
Exactly. Okay.
But don't get me wrong, they also have competitions where they do score points. But the thing is with calisthenics, they do street workout and it's called freestyle. So basically, it's a whole bunch of tricks on the bar.
Just make your own sequence, basically.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's names for tricks, but yeah, there's names, but yeah, you could put them together any way you want and make combos, and it's kind of like they go, you know, the 1 versus 1 and to see who got the better combo.
Okay.
And that's, yeah, I actually throw events that hold that.
Wow. So what kind of events? What happens with that?
So they'll have a calisthenics event, and basically you got reps and sets, battlers, and then you got freestyle battle. So reps and sets is basically see who could outlast who, you know.
Okay.
And these people, say you got 10 people, they're all going at it. Let's see who could do the most pull-ups in the amount of time, the most push-ups, basically conditioning, you know, a conditioning competition.
And who gets invited to these events?
Everybody, whoever does it.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually been in one. I actually got my butt kicked by a girl. Yeah, so that's another thing.
So everybody's together. You don't separate people into categories, right?
Sometimes they do. Yeah, it depends. Like the last one I went to, they actually had all men's and then all women's.
Okay.
But the one that I was in, it was men and women together, and a woman took the whole thing. She's better than everybody. Yeah, she
Wow,
kicked. I don't feel bad though, because there's a bunch of more dudes in there, and she kicked everybody's butt. So I was like, all right. At least it wasn't just me; it was
She
everybody
could
else
go
too.
on from there to be a movie action hero or
Oh
something.
yeah. She ain't
Right?
no joke. Yeah, but see, that's what I mean. It's all up to you. She takes this stuff very serious. You know, she
How
ain't
old was
messing
she?
around.
How old was she? Just curiosity.
She's probably in her, I want to say, late 20s, maybe 30, around 30.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not that young, but you know, she's still.
Right.
She got
But
you.
normally women will carry, on the average, a little bit more body fat than men will. They're just
Yeah.
designed different biologically. So does that normally get in the way or not?
No, well, actually, I think it helped her. So, what's funny is because she got, women for some reason got naturally bigger legs than men do.
That's right.
Most of the time. And
Yeah.
so when it came to those one-legged squats, all the guys, were struggling with the one-leg squats. Man, this girl was acing it.
Wow.
And it's funny because you would never expect it. Really sweet girl, got a little squeaky voice, real nice, man, beast in the gym. When it comes to workout time, I mean, big old buff guys are taking off their shirts, they're in tank tops. That's baloney. This girl's like, she's no joke, man.
Yeah, she was functional.
Yeah, so she beat the contest I was in, which was male and female, and the one I just went to was all it was segregated. It was the males and then the female, and she was in that one. She beat that one too, the female division.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah. So that goes back again to how serious that you want to take it,
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting because it shows what you can do if you're willing to take it gradually and go through the steps, right?
Yeah. There's no limits. I wasn't always, going above the bar like that. That's what I wanted to do. So I put effort into it, and now I'm doing it.
Another thing that struck me about the calisthenics people, starting with Barstarzz and all the other ones, is they look incredibly, great in their condition, and it's not like just an ego thing, because that reflects functionality and it makes you feel different in the whole rest of your life. So, I mean, it's got huge rewards.
What's funny about that is that this is actually it's so fun and exciting, and you love to do it. And the way you look is actually a bonus. You're like, wait a minute. I'm kind of in shape.
Exactly. And you don't have to be lifting 1,000 pounds in the gym.
At all.
So as long as you're careful and you just relax and go through the steps, and don't try to do flying muscle ups between bars 10 feet apart when in your first week or something, then you're probably not going to get injured. Yeah. And it's so much safer, and you can do it for your whole life, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, most definitely.
Now, I know a lot of people don't use weights at all. They don't do any weight exercises. Some do and some don't. But what about stuff like running and other aerobic stuff? Do they do that too or not?
Yeah. Then again, that's up to your preference, because I got some buddies, they don't run. But me, actually, I run. I ran this morning.
Okay.
I ran last night. I like to run because I kind of like to eat bad, so sometimes,
so it
it's
kind of compensates for some of your eating.
Yeah, I kind of, try to balance.
Have you looked at the difference between, some of the distance running, like you just go 5 miles at a time, versus the HIIT, sequences where you do a 100-yard sprint, then you rest for a little while, and then you do it again, and you do that like 8 times or something. And what they say about that is that you don't lose muscle like you would with distance running. There's a reason the marathon runners look like scarecrows, right?
Yeah.
And because the body says, well, I don't need any muscle except the muscle to get through the marathon.
Exactly.
And the sprints are a different thing.
Yeah, that's why I actually sprint. So I'll have a pretty fast paced jog, and then I'll just run like the wind as fast as I can go. And then I'll slow it back down and still have a pretty decent fast jog, and then I'll.
So you're doing the sprints without a total rest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Your rest is going back to your jog.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you are using that. That's neat.
Mm-hmm. I got all that pizza and ice cream, man. We got to get it out of there.
Yeah, and we're not telling people that they have to eat pizza and ice cream to do this.
No, they don't. This is me. This is my own.
Yeah, it does help compensate to a certain degree.
Well, I have other friends, they actually do it without the pizza and ice cream, and they're really into the meal prepping, eating organic and a lot of vegetables and stuff. And I see that it does, make a difference. I mean, they look like
and probably as you get older, your body has a little bit less tolerance for junk.
Oh, for sure. I was just gonna say, even me, like I notice so I'll be doing good, my eating would be doing good, and I'll feel like I'm 17 again. And then once I start messing up and too much ice cream, too much pizza and all, I could tell like I might still look cool to the other people, but I'll feel it. Like when I go to jump on the bar, I'll feel heavier, I'll feel more sluggish, I'll feel a little slower. Like you could tell. So it's always good to try to. Well, as you're getting older, I don't know about kids and stuff, but when you're getting older, you want to kind of keep a decent.
Think, kids' body has so much natural vitality, they can overcome it better.
Yeah, they're kids,
If anybody ever started being careful with nutrition and avoiding garbage and hurting yourself when they were a kid, they could end up kind of superhuman.
Yeah, exactly. That goes back to, like I said, why start the calisthenic movement at 30 when you could, or whatever, when you could start when you're 5, when you could start when you're 10.
Exactly. And what would happen if they learned about the calisthenics and the other things about food and health and stuff too?
Goes right back to
put them all together early. It would be unbelievable.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
agreed.
And all these progressions like you're talking about with the muscle ups, they just keep going, right? I mean, after you do the clapping muscle ups, there's even stages after that, right?
Oh, yeah. It keeps going. I mean, you'll start spinning in the air. You could go from 1 spin to 2 spins. I think there you got up to 3 spins. Like, it gets crazy. So, like I said, it all depends, how far you want to take it. But I'm good maybe with 1 spin. I don't know about in 3,
Yeah. And is that a spin where you come back and you grab the bar after the spin?
Yeah. 360. They call it a 360.
Okay.
I think 2 spins of 540. It keeps going on. But
so you want to get to the point where muscle ups are just easy.
Yeah.
Before you get into that.
So it'll become to the muscle up that's actually like that's your base now. That's your foundation. Right. You go through that to get to other stuff. So.
Okay, super exciting.
Very exciting, man. Yeah, we have events and competitions and all kinds of stuff all over for this stuff.
Okay, so what are all the things that you do with this now? I mean, I know you have a connection to some kind of clothing that you wear and other stuff.
Yeah.
What have you put together? What are you doing?
So this is it right here. So when I got out and like I said, like. My passion for this movement, I just didn't want to be a part of it, but I wanted to forward the movement and push it because like this goes back to the way I grew up and the way I used to think and how this grabbed me and like pulled me away from it. Like to me that was a very big deal. It changed my life. That's pretty much what just happened. So by that happening, I kind of wanted to keep that going. As much as possible. Yeah. Not just for me. It's beyond me now. You know what I mean? So what I did was I created a brand called Bar Game Affiliated. And that's what we do. So
you stand up a little bit. We can see your shirt better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I got the shirt. I got the hat. I got my sign back there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Neat.
It's a guy doing a human flag.
Oh, that's not a sideways. That's not a sideways pull-up. That's something else.
Yeah, it's similar to a sideways pull-up. Yeah, so he's holding on from a bar and he's holding his whole body sideways.
Yeah, so another impossible move, right?
Yeah, and that's us. That's the body weight movement. That's the calisthenics. That's the street workout. So what I want to do is I want to forward this movement. So one of the good ways to do it is through clothing because it's worn. So everywhere we go, they'll see it or they'll see that back there and they'll know like, hey, those are those calisthenics guys right there. You know what I mean?
Maybe
that
I
right
should try it. Right.
Yeah. Or come talk to us about it, ask questions. All it is giving an opportunity to open up a door,
Right.
Just just like back in the gangster days, people will, wear certain hats or certain colors because they're
Yeah,
proud of that, and they want everybody to know, hey, this is what I stand for.
exactly.
Now it's a little different. Now it's like, I got this, and this is what I stand for. I stand for the calisthenics movement.
Okay, so let's say we're talking to a kid or a slightly older person who's completely wrapped up in the gang world, and you know what that feels like. It's not like they feel like they can ever change. So
That, yeah.
what could you say, knowing how real and hard that is? What can you say that could get through to them thinking maybe it's not impossible to do something different?
Yeah, I would say first off, it's never impossible. It goes back to choices. If you're living that lifestyle, you're choosing that. Everything is a choice. No,
Right.
nobody's forcing you to do anything. I highly doubt it. It's you're choosing those. So first of all, you got to start adjusting and making some different choices. And I would say you got to find something that you're passionate about. Maybe for me it was this, because I always been into fitness when I was young, and now it's a different form of fitness, and I got wrapped into it and didn't let it go. But maybe it might be drawing, maybe it might be cooking. I know I got some buddies that they took culinary arts, and they specialize in cooking. You have to
Right.
find something that you love just as much, or if not maybe even more, than the life that's leading you down that path. You
Well,
gotta
right.
find
I mean, you
reason.
might be worried that you're going to lose your whole family because that's the gang,
You're
and
gonna
also
lose.
that they're going to retaliate against you for leaving or something like that.
Yeah, everybody got different situations, but there's always an answer. If that neighborhood don't like you no more, get out of there. I
Yeah.
mean, you'll find a way to go to a different area. You'll do what you need to do. If you need to get out of there, get out of there. Most people actually accept it. Like me, I actually still got a lot of the same friends and a lot of the same people, and and we're all on different paths. A lot of my friends, they're not even doing the gang stuff no more, but once upon a time they were, but now they're more into like family, and
Uh-huh.
they got their kids playing soccer and things like that. For me, I don't even have kids, but I mean, my focus is this. I'm so focused on this. This is what I got going on. So it goes back to choices, I would say. But if they do, if they don't know what they like, or they have a lot of energy, or even angry. I was very angry growing up, and this
Yeah.
is like perfect way to, you use so much energy and your anger on this, you don't have time to be mad after that. You're exhausted, you're tired, you're like, you gotta rest, because tomorrow we're back at it, we got to do it again. You know what I mean? So
So would you agree with the idea that if you're really angry, that underneath that you're angry at yourself? You think
um
that's true or not?
I say to a certain extent, I feel there's more than one reasons to be angry.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be one. But yeah, most definitely, yeah, I've been mad at myself before. Or you make poor decisions and then you regret it later. You might not want to admit it, but you do. But all you could do is, what's done is done. So all you can do is
Yeah.
really control your future. You gotta evaluate it, and let's get to correcting, and let's make sure that doesn't happen again. If you weren't happy with the results, I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe you like living in a small bathroom with another guy. Then hey, whatever fits,
Right.
whatever floats your
You can
boat. Then
choose it, right?
yeah, it goes back to choices. If that's your thing, then knock yourself out. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's different, but for those who don't like it, they just end up there. You can make decisions, and get out of there, for sure.
If people say, okay, maybe I would like to try something like this, and there's no organization in their town that's already doing it, what do they do to get some support?
I would say, well, like for us, we're there's not many in my town, believe it or not. So
Okay.
this social media thing, it got its benefits, and we're all connected. I got friends like that, I like no other that I would never have before. Like, it's beyond just growing up in a neighborhood now. I got friends all over. I just got back from New York. I got a whole community out there. So, I got friends. I'm in Sacramento, California. I got friends up north in Seattle, Washington, and across the coast and all over the place. So we use social media, and everyone keeps in contact through social media. Share workouts with each other, and when we throw those events, we come together. We got people taking flights for these events.
So how do they get into the group that you're in on social media?
So right now you could actually, you could find me on, if you have Instagram, you could go to bargame_affiliated, and you'll see there, basically what Bar Game Affiliated is about, what we got going on.
Okay. And that's on,
yeah.
is that on Facebook, or what are you talking about?
That's Instagram.
Instagram, sorry.
Yeah. So on Facebook, you could look me up by my name. Only the last name is first, so it'd be Marin David, and I'm on there, and I'm constantly, constantly got my calisthenics movement going on there too. So that gives you, see, that's what's good about it too. So if you don't know about it, it's kind of good to have social media, because that's how you'll see, you'll see what we do. You'll see what we're about. You'll see what's going on. We got events on there, so you'll actually see the events,
Okay, good. So on those two, on Instagram and Facebook, they can get together with you right away.
Yeah, right away. You can leave me a message, and it might take a little bit of time, but I usually I try to respond to everybody who leaves me a message. I actually trained a guy through messages, and he's doing fantastic. I'm gonna do a little interview with him coming up soon.
Okay, so that'll be great, and they'll know when that's going to be and how to watch it if they get on those two social media platforms with you. So the first Facebook was Marin David, right?
Yeah, Marin David.
MarinDavid, and then what was it on Instagram again?
Instagram, it's bargame_affiliated. Underscore is that little line on the bottom.
Right, affiliated. Yeah. Okay.
So basically, that anyone who's got something to do with the bar movement, you're automatically Bar Game affiliated. Okay. That's what we do. It's our sport.
Yeah, it sounds super exciting, and it doesn't matter what gender you are, what age you are, what race you are, what geographical location you live in. It's
none of that matters.
You can have it immediately.
It's like we're all connected. We're all a family too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Ed Barstarzz took me in like that. That's who I was out there visiting out there in New York. And remember, you can always go, and that's got a lot of footage too. So if they want to see or know more about it, they can also find me on there. That's how you found me, was on Barstarzz.
On Barstarzz. That's a YouTube channel, but you guys, by the
YouTube
way.
channel.
Yeah, Barstarzz, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff.
And you said Ed might come on the show with us too.
Oh yeah, he's ready. Yeah,
that would be great, because I don't want to do this as a one-time thing. I want to keep the enthusiasm going, because I think this is such a great thing to help everybody. It could change the environment that everybody's living in.
That's that's our plan. That's our mission.
Yeah, because you don't have to argue about issues. Change how you feel, and everybody starts becoming in harmony. It's amazing.
And at one point, I can honestly say I thought I was never going to change. I mean, I thought like I was put on this earth, to live this lifestyle. And that changed. Now I feel different. I still feel the same, but different. I feel like I was put on this earth to live this lifestyle.
Right. And even if when you're not saying anything and you're walking around, people feel that you're totally changed.
Yes.
And you're going to make them think, just like that guy outside the window made you think.
Yeah.
The 50-year-old guy, that came back.
So all we're trying to do is help people now, versus later.
Yeah.
Let's get this change going for the better today.
And there's no prerequisites. There's no something that you have to do to get in or to be acceptable. You're acceptable. All you have to do is want it. So I think we've given people a lot to think about and absorb, and hopefully realize, didn't realize we can change our whole lives. Like,
oh yeah, most definitely.
You don't have to believe something. You don't have to do anything complicated. You just have to be willing to start. So
I'll show you one more thing real quick before we.
All right, then we'll wrap it up.
Can you see this?
I can see it. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm clapping.
You see that one?
Yeah, that was great. So you got me real enthusiastic. I'm going to really start working harder and see what's possible step by step.
Yeah.
So thank you for inspiring everybody. Anybody who wants to use that, go to the sites that David talked about, and we can all do it together, and I'll join you.
Calisthenics movement, bar game affiliated, changes lives.
Exactly. Hold on, and we'll say goodbye in the break here. Okay, you guys, that was David Marin, somebody that I feel really honored that we were able to get on the show. Sometimes we talk about great movie stars and music stars and everything that would be fun to have on, but really what I like is somebody who's practically doing something that's inspiring people to change their own lives, that they can actually do, that's practical. You don't really have any what's called barriers to entry. You can just start whenever you want to. And so this was really a fun show for me to personally get inspired by David and think that I want to take my own workouts up to a much better level, which I will. And I just would really thank David for sharing all that with us. And he'll be back if you guys find it interesting, and other people who are some of the real stars in the calisthenics world, which is global at this point. And they have meets and events and all kinds of things. And they're able to get together on social media all the time. It's not something that social media is worried about banning, apparently, which is great. But it's powerful enough to change the world for the better, starting with you, actually, that you don't need anything to get all the benefits. Just decide that it's something you want to do. And I want to reiterate that David said he was able to be reached on Facebook. Marin David. His name is David Marin, but you just switch it around, Marin David. And then on Instagram, he said bargame _affiliated. Bargame is BARGAME. The line at the bottom, not a hyphen, but an underscore, affiliated, AFFILIATED. And then I didn't realize, I didn't ask him earlier during the show, but he does have a website called bargameaffiliated.com. That's what he decided to put on the shirts and hats and everything that he's offering to people. And at this point, since we got him while he's still small, and I don't expect that to last because he's doing such a great job, for now, on bargameaffiliated.com, he's giving his email address, and he's still small enough to answer the email. So that's a great opportunity for any of you guys that want to ask a specific question. And I'm thinking we need to get this to all of our friends and family members in prisons all over the world, because I think you could do this wherever you are and start a new life even while you're confined. And it could be a wonderful thing for a lot of people, from kids all the way up, and also for kids that are in gangs and think that that's their family and their life is going to be really disastrous because that's where they're going to stay forever. David is a living example that the opposite is true. You have unlimited ability and possibilities to transform your life however you want, regardless of whatever anybody else decides to do. It's completely in your hands. And I like that. It gives you total power over your life instead of being dependent and hoping that somebody else does something that's going to come save you. You can start saving yourself right this minute. And when you change your body and the condition that it's in, the things you thought were overwhelming problems don't look as bad. That's a big deal. And the mood that you're in is gone, and it's replaced by something else, and that empowers you to do more. You don't have to argue about anything or debate anything or resolve any issues with people who think the opposite, or that's all irrelevant. You can just start with your own body, and it changes the whole world. It's amazing. So I hope you enjoyed it. I really thought that was fun. And if you want to watch for more of our videos during the week, we'll do those as much as we can on all the major platforms that we're on, as long as we're allowed to stay there, and we're trying to make that happen. If we do get disappeared off some of the channels, find us at lostartsradio.com. And for people who want to go deeper into it on the things that we really can't say completely on the public channels, check out planetaryhealingclub.com, planetaryhealingclub.com. And I'm there and Doug's there every week. And it's live and interactive, a real supportive environment for people who want to take this a lot further in their own lives in whatever way it works for them. And that's a neat environment. So as long as that's there, check it out. And we'll keep doing it as long as we can. I think that's about it. Watch for all the Sunday shows with inspiring people. And if you want to give us any feedback, comments, questions, etc., we read all of them. Richard at lostartsradio.com. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.